Well, hello everybody. My name is David. This is the first of a series of videos that I hope to do throughout the next month because it might not quite feel like it, but we have the World Cup starting in just a few days. As I record this, it's November 17th. The tournament, I believe, starts on Sunday. The United States has their first match on Monday, and it doesn't quite feel like it has the normal hype surrounding the launch of a World Cup, probably because, well, a combination of things. Number one, we have some controversy with the host nation of Qatar, but also this is a tournament that's now taking place in November and into December. That's college football season, and the sports calendar is very crowded in America. So usually this is all other World Cups have taken place in June and July. So it's a little bit different this time around, and I don't know how this is going to go, how this is going to play. But typically, World Cups are like the one soccer event that attracts the interest of the American sports fan. Like, so casual soccer fans or casual, like, not non-soccer sports fans, this is the event they tune in for. And it's been a long time since the US men have participated in the tournament because they missed the last one. It's only held once every 4 years. We failed to qualify for the first time since 1986. We failed to qualify for the World Cup and we did not participate. So for the first time in 8 years, the US is sending a team, the US men are sending a team to the World Cup, and we start on Monday. So I want this series of videos to be very short and aimed at the casual fan. I'm not looking to do deep dives. I'm not looking for tactical analysis or breaking any soccer news or anything like that. If you are interested enough in all that, there are better sources to find, and I know that. But for those that are just going to be casual fans that just want to know enough to be able to tune into a game and understand exactly the context of what's going on, I want to be able to share that with you. And also, this is just an outlet for me to talk about soccer because I am a fan. I am passionate about it. And not a lot of people around me want to hear me suck all the air of the room talking about soccer. So I'll do it to the webcam and hopefully I can find an audience. But anyway, we do have the World Cup coming up. The U.S. has a game coming up on Monday. And I want to be able to just kind of set you up for that in case you're interested in checking it out. It's going to kick off at 3 o'clock Eastern, I believe, on Fox. The U.S. has their first match against Wales. So I'm not going to try to get into the roster or list all the names, get bogged down in all that, blah, 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 because if you want to know where those names are, you can certainly find them. What I do hope is that the U.S. stays in this tournament long enough that maybe if you have not been familiar with the team before, that you will become familiar over the next few weeks. We have a minimum of 3 games we will play. That's the round robin format of the first round. And then after that, hopefully we can advance out of our group and make it into the elimination rounds. We'll just have to wait and see how it goes. But I do want to touch on this, 3 or 4 areas of interest in relation to the news about our roster. These aren't going to be names that mean a lot to you if you're a casual fan. I don't intend really to be talking to a hardcore soccer audience as I give these videos, but there are some, you always want to know some of the stories surrounding, some of the narratives surrounding the team, so you kind of know a little bit of the context of what's going on off the field to inform what's happening with this first match. So there were 3 or 4 spots, on the field, in terms of determining our lineup and our roster that were in question of exactly what kind of decision that our head coach would make. Head coach is named Greg Berhalter. And so the first thing that happened, the first thing I'll note is the surprise exclusion of goalkeeper Zach Steffen. He was somebody who was the clear number 1 choice for several years, and Berhalter coached him at the club level when he was in Major League Soccer. And it was a debate for a long time who was going to be the goalkeeper, Zach Steffen or Matt Turner. And as it turns out, Zach Steffen didn't even make the squad. He is not even among the 3 goalkeepers that are in Qatar now. So that clears the table and removes any debate about who our number 1 goalkeeper is, and that's going to be Matt Turner. He became known playing for the New England Revolution of Major League Soccer, and he has recently received a transfer to the English Premier League, where he is the 2nd goalkeeper on the depth chart for Arsenal. So he's going to be our goalkeeper. And to not have Zach Steffen there, I think a lot of people had come around to the idea that Turner had won the starting job, but for Steffen to not even make the squad, that's pretty shocking considering how sure his spot looked for so long. I'm going to move again now to center back. This was an area that's always been of concern. Those are the 2 central positions on the back line, that defensive line. The United States usually plays a 4-3-3 formation. That's 4 on defense, 3 in the midfield, and 3 up top with a center forward and 2 wingers. Okay, so in that those 4 in the back, those 2 in the middle are the center backs, and we've had injuries at center back position. We've had our depth tested in that area, and we're coming in really with not the guys that we would choose if everybody was healthy, but what we've what has happened though, what makes this noteworthy is that the inclusion of a center back named Tim Ream. Tim plays in England for Fulham, and he's one of the older, if not the oldest, member of the squad. But what's noteworthy about his inclusion on this squad is that he was not involved in the World Cup qualifying, at least for this final round, which took place throughout 2021. So for this last year of qualifying, not only did he not see the pitch, he was not called into camp. He has not been a part of Berhalter's thought process or plans for a long time. And suddenly he's called in and he's on his way to the World Cup. That was a surprise to a lot of people. I think it's a good choice. And the reason why I say that is he plays for Fulham in the Premier League. And he's got his teammate, Anthony Jedi, plays with him at Fulham. Jedi is, I say Jedi, he goes by Jedi. His name is Anthony Robinson, but he goes by Jedi in real life, and I'm still getting used to that, and so forgive me on that one. But anyway, Jedi plays on the left side for him at the club level, and if Ream sees the field here in the World Cup, he's also going to have Jedi with him there. So there's a little bit of familiarity there. And I think considering that the best players in the world play in England, Fulham, I mean, Tim Ream, he sees these guys, the guys he's going to see in the World Cup. I mean, we're playing England, we're playing Wales. A lot of the same attackers that he sees every week in and week out in the Premier League season, he's going to meet at the World Cup. And I think that type of experience is going to be necessary. The question is, will he start when he hasn't even played for Berhalter for a long time? The other option, the other possibility to start in his spot is a Major League Soccer player named Aaron Long. And I think, here's my prediction. Okay, here's my quick prediction. I think Ream does start for the United States in the World Cup, but I do not think that he starts in the first matchup against Wales. And the reason I say that is Wales is a team that we should beat. They are not looking to have possession of the ball. They're going to sit deep. They're going to play a low defensive block, hope to hit on the counterattack. And that is a type of game where the United States, are going to try to press forward, play a high line in the back. That means our defense is going to push up the field and be on the front foot and be taking the game to Wales. And that is not a tactical situation that really plays to Tim Ream's strengths. That is something that will play more to Aaron Long's strengths. So my prediction is that in the starting lineup, when they name the defensive starters, that you're going to see in the middle, paired with Nashville defender Walker Zimmerman, we're going to see Aaron Long in the Wales match. I think the tactics are going to be different for the other games. Our next one is coming up on Black Friday against England. And I think I predict that's where you'll see Ream. So keep an eye out for that. That's the spot on the field to watch. That's the story for this team. Who's playing partnered with Zimmerman in the back? Is it going to be Long or is it going to be Ream? So keep an eye on that. The other part that is kind of shocking is the exclusion of Ricardo Pepi, who's a young forward, a young striker that was hot last year and was scoring a lot of goals for Dallas. He got the transfer to Germany, where he lost his form and he didn't score for a long time. And he made the move, consulting with Berhalter, after deciding what is his career path that's going to give him the best chance to make it to the World Cup. And with Berhalter involved in all of this type of thought process and decision-making process, he got the transfer to Germany, and he struggled. He didn't do well. And meanwhile, there was another forward at Dallas who was behind Pepi on the depth chart by the name of Jesus Ferreira. And Ferreira began to get minutes. He got those minutes, and he did very well in Major League Soccer, and he scored a lot of goals for Dallas, and he started getting called in by Berhalter. And while Pepi was still getting called into camp and playing in these qualification matches, but back home in Germany, where he was playing his club ball now, he still wasn't scoring. So in order to put himself in the best position to make this squad, which, by the way, Pepe scored some fantastic and some critical goals for us to qualify. We probably would not have qualified for the World Cup without Pepe's contributions during the qualification round. But in a need to find a way to find his form and to start playing better and start scoring goals, he, again, consulting with Berhalter, he ended up deciding to try to find a loan, and the club agreed. He's been loaned out to a club in the Dutch league, and he's done really well. He's scoring a lot of goals, and he's finding his form, and it's exciting. And so he sought this path. He's only 19 years old, and he sought this path to move to Europe and pushing himself to play at the highest possible level because he wanted to play in the World Cup. And Berhalter was involved in all of this thought process. And do you know that Berhalter did not select him for the squad? He did select Jesus Ferreira. So after telling Pepe, hey, you need to leave Dallas and go to Europe and play at the highest level possible so you can make it to the World Cup. After he does that, he then ignores Pepe and brings in the guy still at Dallas who was behind Pepe on the depth chart. And now Jesus Ferreira is in Qatar with the World Cup team, and Pepe is sitting at home. So that is pretty shocking. That is brutal. That's a brutal blow. That is tough. I feel sorry for Ricardo Pepe, but credit to him. He's handled it with class, and I think he's only 19. He can play in the U20 World Cup, and he still has 3 or 4 of the Senior World Cups in his future, I'm sure. So there's a little bit of drama there with the forward positions. So I've covered goalkeeper, center back, and forward. The only thing left is winger. We are actually really deep at winger. We have more world-class talent at that position than we have spots on the field. So, and for the first time, really, we never had everybody healthy at the same time in qualification, but we now have all five of our top wingers are healthy. So that's Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna, Tim Weah, and Brendan Aronson. And I'm forgetting the other one. Okay, maybe there's 4. But we only have 2 spots on the field. So the question is, who do you start? I think Pulisic's a lock for the left side, but then it becomes a question of who do you play on the right? And if you want to get more of those guys on the field, then do you put them in the middle? If you put them in the middle, then there's one midfielder that's already slated to start that has to sit down. So I guess the 5th name I was thinking of was Weston McKennie, and he plays in the middle. And so what do? We have 3 spots for 5 guys, and all 5 of them deserve to play. So those names, if you're a casual fan, those names might not mean a lot to you, but just know it's a game of musical chairs where we have 5 quality guys that deserve to be starting, and there's only 3 spots on the field. So no matter what we do, there's going to be quality sitting on the bench watching the game being played. It's an embarrassment. I mean, I say it's an embarrassment of riches. It's a good problem to have. You could say, well, these guys are so good that there's no wrong choice. Whatever you pick is going to be fine. That's true. The flip side is there's also no right choice. Whoever starts, the Berhalter is going to be criticized for the guys that he did not start. However, that means that they're weapons off the bench and they can be effective as second half substitutes. And I think that is it's going to play in our favor. So anyway, just something to keep in mind. We have too much talent on the wings. So somebody's going to be sitting down. The guy you thought was going to be brought in as the striker, the featured striker, didn't even make the squad. The goalkeeper that for years we thought would be our top choice didn't even make the squad. And who starts at center back with Walker Zimmerman. So hopefully those will give you some things to be aware of and to be looking for when you watch the first game. This probably has gone on too long. Again, I'm trying to keep this casual. I'm trying to keep this not for the soccer geeks, but for the casual sports fan that wants to watch the World Cup. So I'm a college football fan too. TV viewing is getting a little crowded, and how do you get passionate about this event when your real team is playing for your conference title in college football? So anyway, first match is Monday afternoon against Wales, and then the second match is going to be Friday against England. It's going to be on Black Friday afternoon. I want you to tune in and watch these games. We will know at the end of that second match. In all likelihood, we'll have a really good idea of whether or not we are going to advance out of the group stage and into the elimination rounds. So we're going to play 3 matches. Everybody plays a minimum of 3 matches. That's the round robin of the first stage, and 3 points for a win, 1 for a tie. Typically, 4 points is enough to get you through. A win and a tie, you can afford to lose the third one, and usually you get through. Wales is a game that we match up well against, and we should have the front foot. We should have most of the ball, and I expect to come away with a win. England, well, of course, will be our toughest opponent in the group stage. Our third match will be against Iran. So, and they right now are bogged down in their own controversy, both with the club and also just politically, or in their country. So, we'll have to see what happens there. But anyway, I'm a soccer fan. I hope I can make one out of you. But just tune in with me. Let's watch the World Cup together, and I will talk to you next time.